does happen, and it'll be interesting to see moving forward here for two fighters that obviously know each other very well. In the red corner, it'll be Manuel Beltran.
The Machine Beltran.
And the graphic, that says it's Beltran's third bout. I know that James Casino Guerrero has had some previous ring experience, so we don't have a number. I want to say it's in the area of 5 or 6 fights, at least, that James Guerrero has had. So he comes in with some definite experience into this bout, and says that this time around he knows Manny Beltran, and said this time he doesn't want to leave it up to the judges. Beltran got the narrow decision last time, and Guerrero says his goal here in this one is to take it out of the hands of the judges.
Well, certainly you want to have your fight plan set well before that you're getting into the ring, and that can happen when you're fighting somebody you've never fought before. But, man, when it's a rematch, that's all the much more data to go with as you're continuing on into this current bout here. And there's obviously a lot of things they could probably take and a lot of notes from their corners, so it'll be interesting to see how these rounds continue to develop as these guys will feel each other out, obviously, in round number 1, and then move on to round number 2 and round number 3. And, gosh, anybody's game at that point.
Yeah, and as for Guerrero's goal, well, Manny Beltran is happy to oblige him, talked about his fight plan, and his fight plan is to bring the pressure. So he is going to be right there in front of James Casino Guerrero and going to come right after him, as he does right at the opening bell. Very funny story from James Guerrero about how he got his nickname. Anytime he mentions as a good left hand gets through early for Manny Beltran. But Guerrero talking about his nickname, James Casino Guerrero, and he always includes that as he eats another big left hand. Quick start for Beltran. And Guerrero saying that his reputation in the gym very quickly was that he was willing to get in there and spar with anybody, and that he adopted the nickname Casino because he saw himself much like a casino, always open for business 24/7, and so it became that he called himself James Casino Guerrero.
I like how Beltran is continuing to press forward. He's very aggressive here in this first round and kind of setting the pace. Just look at Guerrero for a second. He's got a pretty significant height advantage on Beltran here, probably by about 3-4 inches. And Beltran says, I'm not going to let you take advantage of me with this height and length. Yep. I'm going to bring the fight to you here in this first round, and so far it's paid dividends.
Well, Beltran is one of the fighters that we've seen so far today that does a really good job of catching that punch from distance, but immediately closing the distance. You see, every time that Guerrero goes to throw, Beltran takes that quick step inside and gets right on the chest of Guerrero. Takes a right hand on his way in. Guerrero starting to adjust here as we head to the final minute of round number 1. It was a fast start for Beltran. Now Guerrero trying to narrow things toward the end of the round.
Yeah, certainly Guerrero is using his knowledge and expertise in the couple fights that he's had in his career to make a difference. As
Guerrero with his hands down gets caught with a left hand by Beltran. Beltran talked about how he got into boxing and said a lot of it was by watching Canelo fight. Huge fan of Saul Canelo Alvarez, and see a little bit of that style there. Certainly a brand of toughness and physicality to his fight style. There he is getting instruction from Rudy Garcia. Beltran out of Capistrano Boxing Gym fighting at home. And there is James Guerrero. And Guerrero getting his instruction from his coach, Coach Diego, over at GRAMPAS Gym, GRAMPAS Boxing in Orange County. So a continuation. I remember from Bell Ringer 5 that this was a compelling bout that was very close between the two, and Beltran, if memory serves, did get the narrow decision over Guerrero. But an extension here in the early going in their second bout in that first round. Quick start from Beltran, but wasn't enough. Guerrero did start to tighten things up as that round went on. Now Beltran trying to work behind the jab. Straight right, just short from Guerrero. Good left hook from Beltran, tries to follow it up with the right.
Something you see Guerrero making an immediate change here is he's punching and then getting out of range of Beltran as Beltran stepping in, but he's immediately throwing a right hook after his jab, trying to catch him as he steps into that range.
Double jab from Guerrero, and for the moment has Beltran at the end of his punches. Good combination. 4 straight punches from Guerrero. Beltran trying to answer back as Guerrero smothers the attack. But that was a good combination from Guerrero, his best stretch of the fight by far.
Yeah, I think he's found what's finally working for him, which is, again, that jab in, start moving backwards, and try to catch him on the counter as he tries to attack, because all Beltran had to do was wait for him to step in and jab, and then he could take advantage of him and get in quick. But as Beltran's kind of punched himself out a little bit in that first round, this second round, Guerrero might be taking advantage of that right now.
And a little uppercut on the inside, and Guerrero back to the straight right. Big second round for Ruben James Guerrero. And they'll tie up on the inside, and Steve Harriman with a quick admonishment for Guerrero. Left hook partially blocked by Guerrero. Final 20 seconds, round number 2. And a right hand counter for Beltran lands. Now Beltran wants to press the attack in the final moments of round 2. And that will do it for the second round, and high drama with these two again as we head to round 3.
I have it split around a piece, Jeff. I think, would you agree with that assessment there?
Yeah, I think Beltran did enough in the round number 1, and Guerrero with that good stretch midway through the second round.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Beltran, I think, knew that he was starting to lose that second round there at the end, and that's why he turned it on. So he had a couple good moments there. It definitely shows you both of these guys are well within this fight right now. There is nothing that's too surprising about this fight, as we've obviously seen in the last bell ringer. However, I think, man, we might be down to, again, the scorecards in round number 3, and this is going to be a tight one, Jeff.
And Guerrero, out of the old school, George Foreman there stays standing in the corner. And there is Beltran, and some words from Rudy Garcia, and this might, and in fact, in all likelihood, probably will come down to some small adjustments in this third round in a very tight fight between these two.
I'll be interested to see if Guerrero keeps doing the same tactic where he was effective early on in that second round where he would jab, but oh man, he just got hit on the back.
Yeah, a right hand that landed to the chest of Guerrero for Beltran in that last exchange. Guerrero shoots the right, but Beltran able to slip.
Guerrero's so far not thrown while he's stepping back.
Good combination from Guerrero. Couple of punches got through. And watching these two, one other thing that struck is both appear to still have a fair amount left in the tank as they head into round 3. Fatigue doesn't seem to be a huge factor on either side. And the right hand for Guerrero continues to be a weapon. Clash of heads on the inside, but they continue. Coming down to a minute to go. Guerrero tries to find the left hook counter on the inside. A tap on the inside, a little uppercut. Does score for Guerrero. Coming down to 30 seconds. Beltran with a furious attack and a couple of right hands. Guerrero with a wild left hook. Coming down to 20 seconds. Referee Steve Harriman separates him. Beltran with a low right hand to the body. Guerrero tries to follow the left hook in. Right hand over the top from Beltran. Final seconds. This one going to go to the cards, and I think we would agree, don't envy the judges on this one either. That is a tight fight and a very tight third round. I'm not sure I could really pick out someone that clearly took that round.
Jeff, I think you and I will agree. Beltran won round number 1, Guerrero won round number 2. I don't know who just won round number 3. That's a tough one for me.
Well, it's exactly what Ruben James Guerrero didn't want, which is, once again, he's left it in the hands of the judges in another very tight fight as Beltran gets to the final bell with Ruben James Guerrero in a very, very close fight. Well, I'll tell you, these two guys, Bell Ringer 7 back here December 3rd, I wouldn't mind seeing the third in the trilogy with these two. This is a good matchup. Why not make it a trilogy? We'll see.
Certainly some drama to be had here coming down to the scorecards, and if it goes 1-1, you want to see the trilogy at that point.
Let's go up to ring announcer Art Chavez.
Mike went out.
And Beltran gets the decision once again. Incredibly close, like the first meeting between these two teams. And Beltran, out of Capistrano Boxing, will take home the belt here at Mission Bell Ringer 6. And will there be another one between these two as we look ahead to Mission Bell Ringer 7? Did we just lose my? Okay. We'll step